What up? What's happening, you guys? Got some updates about the Glock. And I've got some updates about international things going on that you're probably going to want to hear about. I wish I had bright, sunny, 70-degree weather day news for you, but I don't. So let's get to it. So in addition to the light, addition to the hollow sun, I got my suppressor sights. I can co-witness pretty well with it. I added the back strap, which provides much better grip for me personally on my Glock 43X. I also got the extended magazine, so now I can hold 18 rounds in a Glock 43X. Somebody was saying that, oh man, you got to switch it up to a SIG. You know what? I'm good on the SIG. Glocks have always been really, really good for me. I've never had issues with Glocks. I owned a SIG once, and the SIG was, I couldn't stand that stupid gun. It was way too heavy for me, and the Glock has always proven itself worthy. And I shoot a lot, and I used to shoot even more. I mean, I did a lot of pistol vehicle defense classes, a lot of pistol 1, 2, 3 classes. And I know how pistols should run. Every other pistol that I saw people running, whether it was a Springfield or it was a SIG, dude, those guys always had issues with their pistols. I did get an Uplula pistol magazine loader, and that thing makes loading your pistol magazine so easy and fast, and it saves your fingertips. I have jacked up fingertips. You know, I've used my hands a lot, and yeah, so that's the update. If you guys are looking for a good magazine loader, the Uplula, oh man, let's get this dang thing off here. The Uplula, however you want to pronounce it, it's a pretty good one. So when it comes to World War III, guys, the news isn't good. I wish I had bright news for you, but I just don't. Germany and other European nations are now putting together conscription for their citizens. A lot of European nations too are giving their citizens recommendations like 72-hour survival bug out bags. Now, what they consider bug out bags in Europe is pretty pathetic to what we consider to be bug out bags here. We have a different way of life here, and we're a lot smarter, I think. No offense to the European people, but everything's handed to them. You know, I know they have it rough. They don't have a Second Amendment, and there's things I would certainly change if I was a leader in Europe. But that's just not the case. Anyways, I'm gonna get into it. Zelensky is no longer on board with the minerals deal, because the US government was looking to get back money from all of the weapons and everything that they've supplied to the Ukrainians. Now, you can be pro-war, you can be anti-war, whatever, it doesn't really matter. We've given US taxpayer treasure to that country, and we don't really hold Zelensky, we don't hold the US government accountable for what money we have sacrificed to give to them. We don't hold anybody accountable. I don't even know what we're doing in this country. Honestly, I don't. We just give money to the world thinking that we're going to get some kind of incentive back, but you know what? We haven't. And when it really comes down to it, when you look at the amount of money that's been wasted over the last 4.5 years, what do you see? I see no return on investment, and actually what I see is money that was given to probably to all the NGOs. And a buddy of mine sent a message to me the other day, and he said 90% of the taxes that we've paid in the last 4.5 years has gone to 7,000 different NGOs. Now, when you look at the internal data, he's probably right, and I have. 90% of our taxpayer dollars has gone to NGOs in the last 4.5 years. Look at the debt, or amount of debt we're in. The amount of debt we're in, obviously, it's a telltale sign that we've had to borrow most of the money from the future to bring into the now. And what that tells me is, it tells me we're in deep crap as a country. You just can't have that as a nation and think you're gonna just be able to survive. You know, on top of that, we brought in all of the 20 million illegals that our wonderful, illustrious leaders decided that would be a good idea. What I think it is that they're trying to bankrupt us. And I think they have already bankrupted us. It's just a matter of time until we actually see it manifested in our country. You know, whether you like or hate the Trump administration, what they're trying to do is they're trying to bring spending on all of this stuff to a halt. But you know what? With the billions that they've saved, you know what? I think it's a good thing. Honestly, I think it's a little too late. I don't think it's going to really do much in the grand scheme of things. You're almost $38 trillion in debt, and all your unfunded liabilities have not been paid for yet. And those are like promises to the future. As great as this country is, and you know what, you can love it or hate it. And if you love it, great, stay here, contribute. If you hate it, why don't you just get the hell out of here instead of trying to change it? If you want this country to be more of like a dictatorship style country, why don't you just get the hell out of here or contribute to this way of life here? You know, these liberals think that they're fighting for democracy in the world, and that's what CNN and MSNBC will tell you. They're full of crap. They don't know what they're talking about. Democracy? You're incorrect, because you supposedly support Volodymyr Zelensky. The guy is a dictator in his own country. He canceled elections. If we did that here, there would probably be a civil war. And speaking of civil war, one of the subscribers, his name's Jeff, sent me over my email it's not an article, it was a video on MSNBC, MSDNC, Communist News Network. It was about civil war, and the news person or whatever, I don't even know what you call these clowns nowadays. They're not really news people. They're more propaganda pushers than anything. Television. For you guys on the left and the right, why don't you think about that for a minute? Television. They don't tell you the truth, man. They tell you what you think you need to hear. Why do you think all these leftists out here, they push the narrative? They push it. All they do is repeat what they've been told on MSNBC or CNN. Now, if you confront them about it, they're like, no, I don't do that. What do you mean? I'm just reporting the news. And this is, you know, they do that kind of like Borg mentality thing. You know, they start to glitch, you know, and it's just a total joke. We're being lied to every single day, man. And I hate getting political, man. It's almost not even political. If you talk to a leftist, they will sound exactly like CNN and MSNBC. I'm not happy saying that, because I don't like to see my fellow Americans brainwashed like this. I don't. And I'm not saying everybody on the right is perfect. But I do know when I see somebody on the left regurgitate and throw up and vomit the same thing that you hear on CNN and MSNBC, you know that they're just towing the line, and they're exactly like the people reporting the news. They don't have anything else. They don't have anything. What do you have to offer this country to help us get out of World War III? Is it providing more money to Zelensky? You know, I think Zelensky will even tell you that many members of his government have gotten rich, and they're in Switzerland. They're buying up properties. They're buying yachts. They're using your taxpayer dollars to buy property and boats and all this stuff. And the American left, I don't even know if they know this, because it's probably not being reported on their communist news channels. It's not being reported. But that's what's going on. So where's the money? Why don't they start asking the government, where is all this money that we've sent them? Do they care? Do you leftist people care? Write it in the comments, man. Do you care about where your hard-earned money's gone? Or what? Because it seems to me that the people looking out for where our money is going, they're actually being attacked. And instead of attacking the people who are trying to hold the government agencies accountable, whether it's Health and Human Services, whether it's the Pentagon, whether it's the CIA or the IRS or whoever, they're trying to hold them accountable. The people on the left, they're not trying to hold accountable the people that spent all this money, that went to the NGOs, that went to the illegal immigration coming into our country. Our economy is in shambles. Why aren't they asking the government questions about where their money is being spent and what they're doing with it? Where is it? What do we have to show for it? Is there a return on investment? Now, I know that's new vocabulary for liberals, because they don't really think about that kind of stuff. They're more obsessed and concerned with transgender children rights. Good God, help us. That's what they think about. They think about gay marriage and all this bullshit that doesn't mean anything. It's surface political garbage crap that keeps the right from the left and the left from the right. Has nothing to do with your average life and how your bank account feels about it. Another thing about World War III is I think it's almost inevitable. And the reason I think that is because the SWIFT system run by the American public, and you won't hear this in the news, you won't hear it, is that countries around the world like Russia, China, Iran, and I don't like Iran. I mean, give me a break. I don't like communist nations. And I'm not saying all those listed are communist nations. I'm not saying that. They're getting rid of the SWIFT payment system because all the US government does is sanction a country if it doesn't agree with how they think that country should be run. And so they use it as leverage against the nation instead of trying to cooperate with the nation and start businesses and start relationships that actually have some kind of meaning and things that you can work off of and things you have in common. They don't do that. Instead, they sanction the hell out of you if they don't like what you're doing. And it's not a good way to do business. Now, we've been running that way for quite a long time. And all we do is try to sanction nations through the SWIFT system. And the people in the countries pay for it. The governments don't pay for it. The governments will always find ways to conduct business the way they deem necessary for their national interests and their people's interests. here in the United States, I mean, you leftists should be asking the government a question. And that question is, what are we getting from the money that we're spending with all these nations? Do we have any kind of anything to show for it? Do we really? Instead of hating somebody so much, why don't you start calling your representatives and start asking where the money's gone? Because it's trillions of dollars that have been thrown into the garbage. We have nothing to show for it but high inflation. Now, if you leftists want to start, because the leftists always want to tax. So if you want to tax higher, why don't you just send the IRS more money? But I guarantee you every single leftist watching this will say no, and they'll unsubscribe, and they'll be gone with the wind. Go. Because this is called the Great Purging Channel. I don't want leftists here who don't think for themselves and who can't put two and two together. I don't want them here. Why would you want those type of people around? People are they've lost their minds, dude. Anyways, the Federal Reserve, along with the U.S. government, will not tolerate countries getting rid of the SWIFT system. They won't tolerate it because the United States has the current United States and the Federal Reserve. They have what you call the world reserve currency. Okay? They just own it. And when they see countries going against their power, they get angry and they get upset. And eventually, to maintain that power, what you're going to see is you're going to see buildup of military assets around the world, which you see. We've been building up a military, we've been building up our assets in Ukraine over the last 4 years. We've been building up our assets in the Middle East, in Israel, in Diego Garcia, which in Diego Garcia now you see our B-2 Spirit stealth bombers building up, and hype against Iran starting to build up. It's not about a nuclear program, you guys. It's not. It might have something to do with it, but when it comes down to it, is Iran is one of the SWIFT nations, or no, not one of the SWIFT nations, but one of the BRICS nations, a part of BRICS. Russia, a part of BRICS. China, a part of BRICS. So do the math. Your treasure and your assets are heading to a conflict that you're not going to approve of. Now the left is going to come back and say, oh, Trump started all this. He started all this. You know what? When it comes down to it, it's actually the Federal Reserve Bank that actually sets policy. The Federal Reserve Bank is a very dangerous organization. Very dangerous. The Federal Reserve Bank is not federal. It's as federal as Federal Express. They're an offshore banking institution that loans our federal government money at interest. Why do you think we owe interest on the money that we borrow? Because the Federal Reserve charges us interest, and it's over half of each dollar printed that we pay interest on. Think about that for a second. Do you agree with half of your money that we print going to interest on the debt that we owe the Federal Reserve that is not even a part of our government? They have nothing to do with our government other than printing money on useless paper that's backed by nothing. They loan that to the US government, paper. That's all they do is paper and digital money, which, you don't see 80% of the money that's actually printed. It's actually digital. So you guys thinking that, you're going to escape the digital system, I hate to break the news to you, but 80% of the money that is out there is all digital. 20% really exists physically. So, you know, I wish I had good news for you guys on the World War III front, but I don't. I wish I could tell you that, you know, they're bringing all the weapons back here, and, you know, we worked it out with Iran and we worked it out with Russia, and Zelensky agreed to the whatever deal they're presenting him and all this other stuff. I don't have it for you, man. What I do have for you is you're going to need to prepare. Food, water filtration, water. Get your ducks in a row. Because the tariffs haven't hit yet either. And they're gonna hit. Multiple industries in the United States are not ready for this tariff war. We've got it coming. And what that means is you're gonna start paying high prices. And I'm not happy about it either. I'm not. Why would I be happy about paying higher prices? I don't think it's going to end well for the states. We've been blessed for long enough, and it seems to me that at some point you're going to have to reap what you sow as a nation, and just accept the fact that we've done some things throughout the world, Republican administrations, Democrat administrations. They've done things in the world that they're going to wish they hadn't, because the people at one point are going to be really pissed off, and it's not going to matter whether you're right or left. The people are going to be angry, and rightly so, because everything that they've paid in taxes has been for nothing. Nothing. Show me one thing that has been done with your tax money and that's done for the positive. Give me one thing in the comments. You're not going to be able to, because all of that money has just been borrowed and you're paying interest on it in taxes. Over 50% of the money, like I said, 50% of the money borrowed is going to interest on the debt. I think it's more than that now. I want to say it's up to about 60 cents per dollar printed. So you get 40 cents of the value. And that goes to, I'm not really sure where it goes anymore. I'm not sure. I don't know. Everything is upside down and twisted. Who knows where it's going? I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I know you're going to need to prepare. If you have questions about firearms training, if you have questions about food, water filtration, generators, whatever it is, if you have a question, leave it in the comments. I'll be more than happy to get to it and give you my 2 cents on what I think you should be doing. I've been prepping for about 14 years. I started about 14 years ago. I didn't really know what I was doing, but now I feel like a little bit of a seasoned veteran when it comes to firearms training, self-defense, and prepping, food, all that type of stuff. Water filtration, all that, man. Ammunition to use. I'm an ammunition manufacturer. I know what I'm doing when it comes to ammunition and firearms. So if you guys have any questions, please leave it in the comments. It's really a shame, man. It really is a big shame. Listen, I'm not here to make you depressed, make you feel depressed. I'm just here to give you some information that I've acquired over the last couple days. And honestly, it's not good, man. What news is good? If we go to war with Iran, okay, just hypothetically, if we go to war, we all know that they have sleeper cells here in the United States. You think they'll be activated? Probably. One other thing you need to think about that I've brought up in previous videos is the border was wide open and they all let it open for a reason. To help the blue states, the swing states, become permanent blue states. The swing states aren't blue. The swing states, the immigration was designed to create a one-party dominant party in this country that's the demon rat party, the Democrat Party. Now, if you're for democracy, why would you support the swing states becoming permanently blue so that whenever they vote, it would all just go blue and you would have Democrat administrations forever? That's called a one-party ruling system. Now, of course, they would have Republicans, and they would still give you the illusion of choice, but the Democrats would reign supreme every single election. So goodbye to your Second Amendment. Goodbye to the court system. Goodbye to everything that you liberals claim is democratic. And by the way, this is a republic, not a democracy. I don't know if many of you people know that, but this is a nation. This is a republic. And you can fight for democracy all you want, all this bull crap. We're a republic in this country. Maybe you should go learn what a republic is and what a democracy is. Okay? God's sake, I'm fighting for democracy. Really? What the hell does that mean? Do you even know what that means? I don't know, guys. I pray that the left wakes up. I pray that these people wake up in Jesus' name. We need Jesus in this world. We don't need more taxes. We don't need more pedophiles. We don't need more crazy lunatics on either side. We need Jesus and more church and more Bible reading time than we need politicians, lawyers, bombs, machine guns. We need Jesus more than anything. But I think it's too late for a lot of people. They're not going to give up their political ideology for faith. Jesus' faith. They're not going to give it up. They would rather suck in all the crap nonsense that they think is virtuous and the best thing ever since sliced bread and tires. They think it's the best thing in the world that they support clowns like Bernie Sanders. What a loser. AOC. How about call that witch for what she is a witch. A socialist communist witch. She's got a spell on all these youth, these supposed virtue signaling clowns. What a joke this whole world is. You see, Reverend Billy Graham had it right. These days, evil is good and good is evil. And how much we need a revival in this country, in the Christian faith. We need real Christian followers of Christ. We need followers of Christ that are going to do what they say and say what they do. And start exposing the evil for what it is, rather than sitting back and doing nothing. See, at least on this channel, what I'm doing is I'm trying to help expose some things in this world, that this is all spiritual warfare. Whether you like it or not, man, that's the way that it is. I wish it wasn't, but it is. And it's depressing, man. It really is. All this bullcrap news that we have to put up with. You think it's hard now. You just wait until things start getting serious in this country. You're going to really realize that, especially people on the left, they think they're all squared away and they got their 401k and they're feeling good. Yeah, watch that thing sink to the bottom in a night. One night. And they'll blame somebody. They won't blame themselves. They'll always blame somebody else for their misfortunes. They never take responsibility for their own stupid decisions. They got to blame other people for everything. There's zero accountability on the left. Zero accountability. Show me one leftist that's been like, oh, well, you know, I should have done that different. No, they'll blame everybody else and blame you. They'll blame Trump for it, and you're somehow associated with Trump. Who knows how? You have nothing to do with his decision making, but they want to blame you and hurt you. Madness, insanity on the left. I don't see the right out there burning buildings, killing people, lighting Teslas on fire. I don't see the right doing anything like that. Name me one right-wing mass shooter. The guy who tried to kill Trump, left wing. The guy who tried to kill Trump again, that guy was left wing, pro-Ukraine. School shooters, leftists, transgender. The people threatening civil war and violence are transgender, crazy, lunatic leftists. And if you really want a civil war, you're going to be fighting men and women who fought overseas and they're right wing. Now, I understand that there are some people on the left training and doing all this and doing all that. And I have no doubt that some of them are pretty squared away. But for the majority of people talking about civil war and how they're gonna, you know, these guys with pink hair and fake boobs, man tits, you know, they think they're gonna go out and start raising hell and chaos. Bro, take your pink hair and your curly hair and put that AR-15 barrel up something. Please, Derek, calm down. I'm not going to say it. I like it. You got to love it. They're fat, out of shape. They have fake boobs. They wear a bra, and they think they're women, and they're going to come fight guys like me. Bring it on. You know what? If you want some, come bring it on, man. I'm not going to sit here and say no to something that a lot of us actually look forward to and want to do. We've been sitting here just waiting for these people to keep doing what they're doing and really start getting sporty. I'm not going to say no to a sporty situation. And I don't think a lot of you guys are either. I think you guys are sick and tired of hearing it. I'm sure you guys are sick and tired of the left doing whatever they want, thinking that there's no consequences. Eventually, there's going to be consequences, and it's going to be something they're going to beg to get out of, but I think it will be too late for them. They're the ones calling for a civil war, and they're going to get it probably. I don't want it. I don't want it. Who wants to kill their own countrymen? I don't think anybody wants that except the left. They despise us and they hate us. And I'm sure this video will get censored. I'm sure it will. I won't have that many views. I won't have that many likes on this one. But that's okay. Hopefully it reaches the people that need to hear it. I don't have much else for you guys. I wish I had better news. I did have all these articles laid out to report to you guys, but something was wrong with my camera and I couldn't figure it out. So here I am on my phone for the third time doing this video. I had everything laid out professionally. I was gonna give you guys a really good report. I did 2 videos and they turned out to, they like split in half for some reason on my camera and I couldn't merge them together. So here I am. Now I'm trying to figure out what I want for dinner. Oh, decisions, man, decisions. What to do, what to do. I hope you guys make the right decision and start prepping. At least you're gonna have it. If you don't need it, thank the Lord. But if you're gonna need it, you're gonna thank yourself and your family is gonna thank you for getting prepared. Be a man, do what's right. Get off the alcohol, stop drinking, start eating healthy, start exercising, become a beast, become an animal is your job. That's what you need to do. You know, we all fall short in some areas in life. Don't fall short on this one. We don't need men leaping off the top of buildings to their death because they failed to do something that was right. When they had the opportunity to do it and it passed them, and all of a sudden You're going to be paying $30 a loaf of bread. A lot of men, when in depressions, in major recessions, they throw themselves off the top of buildings because they feel like they can't provide anymore. So do yourself a favor. Get ready. Prepare yourself for the hardest of times and become the hardest man on your block. That's your job, you men. You young men, it's time to saddle up and gear up. Save your money where you can. If you guys have questions about preps, ask me. Please let me know. I'll help you out as much as I possibly can. All right, I'm out of here. You guys take care of yourselves. You guys, there's a liquor store on every corner. Don't stop at one today. Don't stop at one tomorrow and get yourself some alcohol. Trust me, do I want to have a beer in times like this? Absolutely. But you know what? I don't. I say no to it. Who doesn't want to forget about all this stuff and just, throw back like 4 or 5 beers with your bro at a campfire and, you're just hanging out, laughing and talking about good times? Who doesn't want to do that? And I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. I'm just saying the time for drinking alcohol as much as you were, those days are over. You don't want to be an alcoholic, man. Trust me, you don't. I've been around the block. I used to drink way too much IPA, dude, every day. I would have to find a good excuse to not drink 6-pack IPA. I hope you guys learn from me. If you have any questions, again, like I said before, I reiterate this. Ask me in the comments. I'm out of here. Guys, take care. Have a good evening. May the Lord bless and keep all of you. I pray for all of you. I pray that you make the right decisions. And may the Lord bless you and be with you for the rest of your life, however long that life is. Let's pray that we all live a good, long, healthy life and a prosperous one. In the name of Jesus, amen. Love you guys. Later.